Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be walking through how to beat people at this rating, which is around 900 to 1000 rating. So let's just go through this process of beating, just basically the thought process that many 900s go through, and the things they miss, the tactics or the kind of strategies they miss, and how we can use that to win the game. Let's go. I hope I win the games when I'm talking because if I don't, then that would be kind of bad. Okay, bad move to start. I'm just going to play e5, take the center, be really principled. So when your opponents play wacky kind of openings, don't be phased, just go with your principles, take the center, don't get checkmated, all that stuff. So here, if I take, they take with the pawn and they get a good position from a bad opening, right? So we don't want to do that. So I would probably play something like e4 here. Let me see. If I played knight here guarding my pawn, then this happens and my knight is hit. I think I'll go e4 here. Okay, so we'll just go d5, as this is not attacked since the queen defends here. Okay, so now they want to put their bishop on this diagonal, but that's not actually a good diagonal to put it on, since it's going to be staring at all these pawns here. So I'm just going to develop a knight and support the center. Oh, what is this? Bishop to h3. This is terrible. Who plays like this? Well, I have all my pawns on light squares, so I think actually trading the bishop here is beneficial for me because I'm going to have better control over the light squares on the board than my opponent, and I have a very firm clasp over or a clamp on the center here as well. So I think if I trade the light square bishops and then I have, my dark square bishop can kind of roam the board with my queen and my knights as well. So I'm going to actually take. And let's see. So here we have a choice. Obviously this knight's undefended, but we don't really have a developing move that attacks this knight, because this move doesn't really do anything. So I'm thinking just develop the bishop is my idea. I think they're probably going to castle this way because they have too many light squared weaknesses around their king with the pawn here, clamping down on the center. So I'm just going to actually, I'm going to play this move first, c6, and that's because I just played a couple of moves out in my head. Oh, they do castle that way. That's bad. That's terrible. That's terrible. Now I should just win. Now queen d7 looks like a really nice idea because the knight has to move. And for example, if it goes to g5, then I will just push my pawn and the knight's trapped, so it has to go here. And then I play something like g5. The knight has to go back here or there, and then my queen comes in. On the other hand, my knight also has to be able to come into the game. So let's see. I think I'm going to play queen d7. I've already used so much more time than my opponent here. Let me make myself a little bigger so you guys can enjoy the view of me. Okay. Oh no. What if I play the move h6? See, you just have to go through the process of elimination. This knight move looks like it's good. It comes like towards the black king and stuff, but actually this knight has no moves after the move h6 here. The knight goes back, then I take with the queen, Knight goes here, I take with the pawn. You see that early pawn move e4 now is going to help me win the game here, I hope. I hope I don't screw this after I win the knight. My opponent would love to play the move queen to h5 so to pin my pawn to my rook, so if I take that they take my rook, but unfortunately my knight guards that square. I know this might seem like a long time to wait here because um, it's going to be astonishingly quiet as my opponent takes time to figure out what they're doing. I'm going to play queen here, knight here, and checkmate. That's my idea, okay? Let's see if it works. Probably not the most disciplined way to go about it, but if it works, it works. And obviously if they trade queens, then I'm winning. This move does nothing for the one reason that if I play knight to g4 and they play knight to f4, I play queen takes h2 and that is checkmate. Here the only way they stop checkmate is with either queen to h1 or queen g2. I doubt they'll play queen h1. Yeah, of course I'm going to trade queens here because like I'm up a piece. So, okay. Now maybe just develop our knight. This looks like a good square to put our knight on. So does this square. What is this? Why is he attacking us with this king? Or why are they attacking us with what is this? What is king to h3? I have an idea. I'm gonna play knight to f6. Oh, but that traps my knight. So don't do that. Don't make the same mistakes as your opponent, because that does not. I mean, I think this person's obsessed with playing moves like this. But let's go. I'm going to play. I actually don't see. Okay, I'm gonna try to reroute my knight to this square. I think h5 might have been a little bit of a weird move to play. I should just play knight back to f6. Yeah, see now they just give me the square. This is a bad move. Just it's a bad move because it's first of all in end games, this is just creating a weakness on e3 because this e3 pawn now has to be guarded from my pieces by their pieces, which is going to make them passive. Um, and I will probably be able to win this pawn as well. And additionally, this pawn move, make sure now both flank pawns to the square on e4 are pushed so that my knight can never be moved from the square unless I want it to be moved, which means I could always move it back, but I don't want to because that's a really strong knight there. So um, let's see, how do we proceed? I'm just going to play like bishop to e7. I want to go h4 at some point. What is that? Free pawn. Absolutely free pawn here. So just grab free pawns when you can in the endgame. I'm going to start playing a little faster and speaking a little less, but let's see. Okay, where do they want to come? Both these squares are taken by my pieces, and I'd love a trade because I'm up now a pawn. Wait, no, not a pawn because they took my pawn when I got their knight, but I'm just up a clean piece, and we got the same number of pawns, so that means I'm happy with the trade. So if they play knight to g5, I take with the bishop. If they play knight to e5, I take with the knight, and I'm happy. So I'm just going to. I'm thinking whether I should bring this knight in here, but that sacrifices control of this square. So I think I'm just going to. Maybe I'm going to castle longside. Longside? Queenside. I can't speak. But queenside castle, what it does is it's going to bring this rook into the game, so I can play maybe rook g8 and g5 or something. Also, I could play f6 to stop the knight's movement and prepare g5 as well. Okay, let's just trade, as I said. Actually, so you see here, I made a little bit of an error. Probably should have played f6 because now they get some activity with the rook, but I can just play f6 and I'm completely fine because if they take, I take with the bishop and I activate my bishop a little bit, not really, but I can maybe play c5 and some cool stuff. All right, let's take with the bishop. So this is a process of slowly improving our position. So that's what endgames are about. Push your pawns where you have a pawn majority. Try to stop your opponent's plans. See, now you see this e3 pawn, which is backward because it can't move to e4 successfully because my knight and my pawn cover that. I'm going to play rook to e8 and try to take this pawn once this bishop is like not there anymore. Maybe I'll play bishop to g5 as well to go after that pawn. Okay, let's just no moves with the knight. Yeah, I'm just gonna go back. I was wondering whether there was any, cool move with the knight to win anything, but it doesn't seem that there was such a move. Okay, that surrenders control of this what do you call it? Actually, I don't want to play bishop g5 because that allows rook f7. And if you don't know, rooks on the 2nd and 7th rank are very powerful in endgames because they can just take everything. And for that reason, I don't want to play this move. On the other hand, if I play this and rook f7, I take, they take, and I take, and I actually win a rook here. So I think it's actually a nice trick to play. So I am actually going to play it. I'm going to have to play faster than this because there's no increment. Okay, so I'll just take this and then take this. And now they can't even play rook f7 because I just take. They have to move the rook, and then I just move my rook back. I mean my bishop back, and I'm completely winning. Interesting move. I'm just going to stick with my plan actually. Ooh, I have an idea. What about this, okay? Oh no, it doesn't work because the king can go back to d2. I thought maybe I could get a checkmate by putting my pawn on g4, but it doesn't work. Alright, let's just try to trade rooks. Honestly, no, let's just push our pawn. Let's be really principled and push our pawn. Continue pushing. And then let's take the free rook. Generally, you should take free rooks and free pieces unless you have a checkmate or, some better free pieces. I think they'll resign here. If they don't, credit to themselves, but it's not going to work here. I'm very soon going to promote to a queen. They'll have to sack their rook, and then I'll win the game. Because their king's in a kind of cage as well. I can manage to get g5 and... Okay, they resign. Okay, so that was an excellent example. I'm just going to play one more game here. It says I made 0 mistakes, 0 blunders, and 0 missed wins. Okay, so that appears to be a good game. I'm happy with that one. Let's hope that we can get a similar game in the next one. Okay. Okay, so we have c4. So let's just play e5. I don't know whether I should, I don't know if this is going to be such an instructive game after all. Because, like, they played a4 on the second move. I assume they're not castling queenside. What is this? Okay, I'm just going to wait a while and see what they're planning to do. Maybe play d5? Probably more accurate was knight c6, now that I think about it. Okay, excellent. I'm just going to play a5, and the idea of this is that if they ever develop their bishop here or something, I'm just going to play bishop here, oops, and bishop here. And the consequence of pushing these pawns, as you saw in the previous video, or the previous game rather, sorry, is that the bishop cannot be moved. They'll have to trade their bishop or something. Here, let's just block with the knight. I think they wanted me to block with the bishop to, hang this pawn, but I'm not going to, unfortunately for them. Oh, but does that hang this pawn? No, it doesn't. Queen and knight, both. Okay, I'm going to set a little bit of a trap here. I'm going to play check. If they block with the knight, then they lose after the move. Okay, they didn't block that way, but it was still, this move still looks really nice. Which in fact is going to make me play the move itself. Because if bishop here takes, I'm not skipping a move for black, I'm just assuming a castle or something, then the queen still defends the pawn, the knight holds the pawn as well, and all I need to worry about is my b7 pawn then. Okay, I'm gonna play h6 to instigate this trade. That's a bad move. And you know why? Because I'm going to, first of all, that's a random pawn move when you should be developing pieces. Second of all, I think that's attempting to go here, which is a bad move anyway because I take en passant and I'm attacking the pinned piece. So I'm going to let them do this. And in fact, I'm going to just play like, oh no, that hangs it. That I don't like this. It doesn't hang a knight, obviously, because my queen. But I think I'm gonna just castle. Oh, maybe I could trap their queen. Why am I not trying to trap their queen? The castle's long? Are you serious? Oh wait. I play queen e6, and then whatever they do, knight a7, and their queen is trapped. Correct? Oh, they have this move. Oh, but do they see it? They don't. I think this wins the queen here. I could have done this a long time ago. Oh, wait, no. Wait, what? How did I miss this move? I completely missed that move. Let's see. How to win here? I think exchanging queens is good because I'm going to be able to win this pawn back. For example, with moves like this, and they don't really have a way of defending the pawn. And look at this terrible bishop. What's it doing? Oh, this person's actually 1,000, so Easy way to get to 1,000 if you're struggling to get to 1,000. Just, play a solid game and just look at your opponent's weaknesses. Try to play tactically sound chess, without blundering anything or forks or anything like that. But more than that, it's just really important to make sure that you really just you're being very observant of what your opponent's doing, and you try to, just capitalize on whatever mistakes they make and all that. I mean, I wish I could do this for a 2000 rated player. I'm gonna play b5 to try to take this pawn. If they take, I take with probably the rook. Probably the rook. Okay, I'm gonna take anyway because this is opening up their king a lot. And now I think, yeah, rook b8 is much more direct. Okay, I think this is like, oh wait, no, that probably is not too good. Okay, let me just play bishop to e6, and now my bishop is also looking this way. Also, maybe f5 takes and bishop here was good. Too late now. Okay, I'm just waiting for them to take with their knight, because once they take with their knight, now this, and it's going to be a very stylish checkmate, I think. I hope. This is going to be a discovered check. You see, the bishop is lined up with the king, so I just move the rook. Here, even though it can be taken, it's check. And the king has no moves here and here. And now the knight would deliver checkmate, but... Oh, maybe... No, I shouldn't have moved it there. I should have moved it to c5. Or here. So then the knight delivers a checkmate. Okay, but now let's, you know, just play... Wait, does that work? Now, what's the checkmate here? Let me think. Actually, I thought I had a checkmate, but... Check, then the king goes there. Then I play check. And I get the same really nice checkmate. Wait, no, the pawn here is attacking the rook. What am I thinking? What am I doing this for? Oh wait, I have checkmate in one and I was just not seeing it. Okay, excellent. We managed to do checkmate finally. Yeah, checkmate one here as well. Because the rook protects the bishop. The bishop holds all these squares and the king has no squares. Well, that was okay. Pretty one mistake, but no blunders or missed wins. Just shows you these if you're struggling to reach this rating, these people are not actually that strong. Just like me, I'm not that strong, but once you understand how to convert positions, how to understand and find those mistakes that your opponents are making, like ridiculous moves in the opening here. Like what is c4 a4? This is not an opening, and you should not play it. And if your opponent plays it, just play solid chess, and you'll win. And that's all there is to chess, really. You have to get better and better at playing higher rated opponents, but that's about it. I probably didn't play super accurately, but at the end of the day, it's about finding the opponent's weaknesses. So here, when they made the queen trade, when I thought that somehow I trapped their queen, I just take their pawn, free pawn, and then just build on that, open up their king. Do you see this move? b5 is a very instructive move. You don't know what to do in a position like this. You might think about making progress on this side of the board, but remember that in chess, the objective of the game is to get the king of the opponent. So I played b5, and if they take, then I take back with the knight or the rook, and I'm opening up this line for the king. And you saw at the end of the game, that's the file that really decided it for me. And I guess this is just a pretty good example of how you can easily get to this rating. I hope you guys are now hyped about getting to this rating, and I hope you do, and I wish you the best of luck in your games. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.